Hi everybody, Game Cooker US Rocks VR here. Good morning. It's 2:22 a.m. here. I'm not going to get into the story of why I'm awake at 2:22 in the morning, but my schedule just got screwed up, so my sleep pattern's off, so that's basically it. So I figured since like everybody's asleep, my wife is at work, I have no distractions right now. This is why in the past it was always better that I streamed like in the middle of the night, because I could always do that, you know. So there was never an issue with doing it and getting it done. So hopefully my microphone is good and all is well. Hey Alvin, what's up? I figured I'd see some people, you know, across the ocean and on the other side of the world at this time, you know. I'm gonna get to see some of the people that I never get to see much. So anyway, let me get into the game here because it looks like it's working, but I'm not sure. You have to let me know if you can hear everything in the game okay. So I'm looking around. I can hear the noise over there, so everything seems to be okay. Seems like I got sound. Where the heck am I? Oh. Okay, hold on, let me get my bearings straight here. Ah, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm in Raptor Valley right now. So, I don't know what I'm going to talk about today, but I did have something I wanted to share. I know it's a not popular subject with people, usually. But, you know, I just have to say it, so let me say it. You don't have to agree with it, you don't have to believe it, whatever. I'm just trying to share with you, you know, kind of my inspiration. So I was listening to somebody on YouTube today, you know, a gentleman who is a man of faith, and you know, all the links are in the description, so I would urge you to check out those 3 links. And you know, he was talking about basically the urgency of our time. Now, I'm not quoting him or anything, I'm just kind of putting it in my own words here, and I'm not going to go, you know, through the whole spiel, but you know, he's basically saying that each one of us has to look at what's happening today and realize that something's coming, right? Something's coming to a head. Okay, no matter who you are, where you live, where you were born, where you grew up, who you identify as. You know? And of course the storm comes. Every time I start talking. Somebody doesn't want this. So But I think most people, whether you're like concerned about the political atmosphere or the religious atmosphere, or you know, the atmosphere that, you know, the vibe that we're getting from nature, whatever, you know, I think every single person on the planet feels that something is kind of heavy. You know, there's a weight on the world right now. And, you know, you can, like I said, you can come from it from a political standpoint, from a nature standpoint, from a religious standpoint. But there's definitely something, okay? And it's not normal. It's not natural. Okay, I'm going to say it. It's supernatural. Now, everyone may not perceive it as that, but that's what it is. Okay, there's a underlying power in the universe that's telling us that we don't live in a time like any other time, you know, and that each one of us have to make a choice about who and what we are, okay? And we have to examine ourselves. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people that don't do that, that don't want to do that. We saw that in the oh yeah, I'm wearing my contacts right now, Al. So I'll get playing in a second. I'm going to try to get through this as quick as possible. So what I'm going to say, though, is that it doesn't matter how you vote politically. And it doesn't matter what you think scientifically. Okay, that stuff is not going to take away the conviction that we all have that there's something that we need to do. We need to make a choice. Okay? And the choice that we make is going to have lasting consequences. And again, I'm saying it's a supernatural thing. Okay? Just because of what I've read in the Bible. It says that there's going to be a time where God is going to shake the foundations of the earth. Now, he's going to do that literally at some point, but that term can also mean waking people up, right? And I'm not talking about the social justice wokeness, you know, which a lot of people kind of see that as a term that's positive, but when you say you're woke, that's actually a derogatory term, because it's a false sense of wokeness, right? You're really asleep. You're really not looking at what you should be looking at when you're woke. When you're woke, all you're worried about is like criticizing your neighbor, you know, complaining about this and whining and crying about that. You know what I mean? You're basically stuck on self. You know, it's funny how the woke community says that we're selfish as normal people who just want to live our lives and be free, right? But they're actually the ultimate selfish people, because all they're thinking about is their own interest, period, you know, at the expense of everyone else, you know. But again, I don't want to get on to that, so I'm just going to say watch the links below. Maybe that'll give you inspiration to do something else in your life. You know, you make that choice, not me. But Revelation 14:7 says, and again, I'm not going to like preach a sermon here. I'm just saying this, and you guys look at it yourself. Fear God and give him glory, because the hour of his judgment has come. Worship him who made the heavens, the earth, the sea, and all the springs of water. Okay, that's one of three angels' message there in Revelation 14. There's three angels that fly. You have the first angel, second angel, third angel. So this is one of the angels now proclaiming this to the earth, the planet. Okay? The whole earth. They're speaking to everyone on the planet here. Okay? And now, of course, we know Revelation, the book of Revelation, is kind of like the end time book, right? That's how we all kind of see it when we were growing up or heard about it or watched the movies, whatever. You know, we know that Revelation is basically the end of all history, or at least the the end and beginning of a new one, right? So when it says here, worship him who made the heavens, the earth, the sea, and all the springs of water, that actually is kind of taken out of Exodus chapter 20 from the Sabbath commandment, right? Worship, keep the Sabbath holy, right? The seventh day Sabbath. And it talks about the reason why we keep the seventh day Sabbath, right? It was to remember creation, right? And remember the one who created. Okay, so remember creation and remember the Creator. That's why we were told to keep the seventh day. Okay? Because God knew we would forget, right? And haven't we forgotten? Because what do we learn in school? School is godless. College is godless. Politicians, godless, you know. Our institutions are godless, right? Our movies, TV nowadays, godless, right? So we've forgotten that, okay? We've forgotten not only the day, because most of Christians worship on Sunday, which is not the right day. And they do that because of the Catholicism, if you want to know. So the Catholic Church does not keep the right day. And since all the other churches came out of Catholicism, you know, when the Great Reformation happened, they never discovered in their studying, they never got to the seventh day Sabbath part. There's some, okay, don't get me wrong, there's some reformers that did believe that in the seventh day Sabbath, but of course they were put to death whenever they preached it. So anyway, so just think about that for a second. The angels are giving a last day message to everybody. Remember God and worship him. Okay, and read Revelation 14, 16, and 21. Okay, that's what I'm going to tell you to do. You don't have to be religious. Okay, just read it. Okay, read it. It's just a book. Read it. And, you know, you can read Exodus chapter 22 if you want. So, you know, when I was watching that guy, you know, he kind of gave me a little wake-up call. You know, because I have a lot of problems in life, you know, I mean, personally, you know, I mean, I have a lot of struggles, you know, in my mind, you know, because I didn't grow up very well, okay, I didn't have a good childhood, you know, I'm not going to get into details on it, but it was horrific, really. I mean, if you were to make it into a movie, it would be, I don't know if you would call it a horror movie or like a what do you call it, like a dark thriller, you know. It might be a mix of both. Okay, so I have a lot of personal struggles that I deal with, you know, and I have to come to terms with them, you know, because I can't just let them keep dragging me down. I can't let them just keep, you know, misdirecting me into negative directions, you know. And, you know, we all have things that we hold on to that we have to let go of, you know. So, and the only way that we can do that is not going to be through therapy. It's not going to be through gaining more money in life. It's not going to be even going out and helping people, so to speak, you know, because some people just make themselves feel good by going out and helping people. You know, unfortunately today, most people go out activism, right? They do activism, and they're out there screaming and yelling and thinking that they're doing something good, but they're not helping anybody. So even when you think you're doing something right, you're not doing anything, you know? So So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. So just check out the links below. Think about what I just said there, from the book of Revelation, because we're coming to a head. There's something coming. You could say the end is coming, okay? But we have to make a decision before the end comes of whether we're going to keep riding this roller coaster of life kind of in this mindset that everything just kind of happened by accident, and that all we are is just, atoms that just form, get destroyed, and reform, and get destroyed and reform in this endless cycle until the universe just dies a cold, lack of energy death, cold dark death, that's what scientists, that's their outlook on the future. You know what I mean? That's their end for you. Nothingness. Okay? But the Bible tells us something totally different. And remember, this great big bang thing really just kind of took off in the 1800s. I mean, it kind of goes back to Greek philosophy, though, if you didn't know that. Okay? But even back then, when the philosophers thought about it, it didn't make any sense. Right? Because they would look at nature and they would say, there's so much order to nature around us. How can it just be something that just happens by chance or by accident? Like even way back then, they were saying that it's really hard to believe. Even though they were saying that nature just kind of is on its own, they still acknowledge the fact that nature just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? There's more to it, and more so today we understand that better, even though scientists want to keep that information from you. Okay, they don't tell you that stuff. That things like this body can't function without its parts. Right? So there's no way we evolved, because you have to have all the parts in place for us to function. So there is no step-by-step process where one day I was a blob, and then the next day I got 2 eyes, and then I'm say next day, but then the next step you got 2 ears, and the next step you got a mouth, and then the next step you got a esophagus, and then the next step you got a stomach, and the next step you got intestines. I mean, it's like it's when you really sit and think about what they're teaching you, it's absurdity. Because you need your whole digestive system in place. And that includes your saliva glands, your mouth, your tongue, the swallowing mechanism that you have, the muscles, the esophagus, the stomach, the small and large intestines, and the appendix, and the rectum, and your anus. And that's not all. You need a liver and a gallbladder. Because your gallbladder helps, put the bile out that helps, I think, break down, I believe it's the lipids, but, don't quote me on that, because it's been a while since I took anatomy and physiology. But, and the appendix are important. They said you don't need your appendix. Well, the appendix are actually very important, they've discovered. It's not just like this vestigial organ or whatever they call it. It has bacteria in it, the good bacteria that your intestines need to break down the food. So if something happens in your intestine where the culture gets messed up, then these bacteria will multiply and replenish the good bacteria into your system. Again, don't quote me on that, but I believe I'm somewhat correct about that. It may have other functions, but that's one of the functions. And I believe they said if you take the appendix out, you have a higher risk of cancer. I'm not sure what kind of cancer, but you have a higher risk. Let me see if I can make some noise here. All right, let me turn up the volume again. So, you know, I know it sounds crazy when I talk like this, but we are literally being told either lies or not told all the truth. You know? And if you're not told all the truth, then people might as well be lying to you. Because in order for you to make an informed decision, you need all the facts. Right? Not just some of the facts. Right? I mean, imagine a detective who's performing an investigation, and he gathers up all the evidence that he could possibly gather, right? But he decides he's only going to gather a shoe print, a hat, and one set of fingerprints. He goes, here's the evidence. And we have also camera footage. So here's an individual who's wearing a hat, the same type of hat that we found. Here's a shoe print that matches the shoe print of this individual, because we found shoes in his house. And we have fingerprints that were taken near the scene of the crime. Now imagine if you took that to court and you convicted that person, but you left out all the other evidence that you found. You found DNA evidence, you found skin samples, you found blood samples, you know, from apparently the perpetrator. You know, you just wouldn't do that, right? Which then would have pointed you to a totally different person. Okay? But, you know, again, I know this is not popular, but this is what scientists are doing. This is what the media is doing. They're keeping vital information from you, from me, from the public. Right? Because they only want to push one agenda. And it really doesn't come down to politics or socialism. I mean, that's like the surface. But what it's really trying to push is deception and godlessness. Right? And when I say godlessness, I don't mean necessarily believing in no God. It's just what you believe about the God that they may be pushing. You see? They're trying to push things that are not of God or not in the Word of God, like, say, worshiping on Sunday instead of Saturday. Right? The Bible is very clear all throughout the Scriptures that the seventh day is the Sabbath, not Sunday. I'm just bringing that up because that's an easy one. Okay? Very clear in the Scriptures. You will find nowhere in the Scriptures where it's changed to Sunday at all. Okay? But that's one thing. You know, and then the media, of course, they're going to push the godless agenda, you know, with the, you know, they promote violence, drinking, alcohol, drug use, you know, gang mentality. I hear some Utah somewhere. You know, the gay and homosexual stuff, you know, blah blah blah. Again, I have nothing against people. You know, everybody can make their own choice in life, and you know, whatever. We're all going to live with the consequences of, you know, our choices. Not based on what the world's going to do to us, but based on eternity. Okay, there's an eternal reckoning that's coming, you know, and this is the point that I'm trying to get across, you know, and we have to really start looking outside the box, right? Get out of what the world is telling you, teaching you, and start seeking truth elsewhere, right? Because truth never changes, right? And that was one of the points the gentleman brought up. Truth is not relative. Okay? Truth is absolute. Something either is or it is not. You know? Oh my god. I'm gonna die. I'm not used to moving. There's usually other ones with him. I'm surprised he's by himself. Okay. I'm not on my big TV screen, so it's a little hard for me to you know. I'm used to having more to see, you know. I'm not used to everything being so big in my face. So, you know, the world is going crazy. It is. But it's not necessarily for the reason that you think it's going crazy, you know? Well, that's a beautiful morning. You know, I know that people don't want to hear about spiritual things anymore, but, you know, that's when you need to hear it most. You know what I mean? Because that's when you're going to get caught by surprise. You know? We saw it all through history. You know, people saw warning signs and ignored them. You know? This is why all the great world empires fell. Right? There was prophets that were saying the impending doom is coming, you know? And of course, you know, the leaders of the time didn't listen. They just kept doing what they did, disregarding, you know, the wisdom of the prophets of the time. And the kingdom fell. You know, they were caught sometimes with the pants down, so to speak. So let's not let us get caught with our pants down. You know? God's trying to tell us it's time to wake up. Time to see what you're not being told. And that includes me. I'm not leaving myself out. And I have a lot to dig out of my character. That's not right. And I'm not really ashamed to say that, you know, because it's the truth. We don't have to be ashamed to admit, you know, that we have faults. It's actually a good thing when we do that. Because when we say everything's fine and it's not, then that creates a big problem. You know, that's when you're blind, you know, and naked and wanting. You know what I mean? You're found wanting. You're not in a good place. So I might gripe about politics and stuff like that, but as if that's the main issue here. You know, that's just part of the you know, the machine, if you will, if I can call it that. That's just part of the machine. You know, that's one thing that's there to distract you. You know, just like the climate change doomsday. That's just there to distract you. You know, just like the social justice, you know, that's just there to distract you. You know what I mean? You know, of all places that people should not have, like, jumped on the social justice bandwagon was the United States. I mean, again, you can complain that there's problems in the United States, of course. There's problems everywhere. You're never going to be without problems. I mean, all through history there's been problems. I mean, that's just kind of stupid to say that there's supposed to be no problems. I mean, that's just, I don't understand where they want to, how they want to usher in this utopia. You know what I mean? It's like there's never going to be a utopia. You know, they've tried it over and over again and it's failed. You know? So, it's just kind of silly that people jump on that bandwagon all the time. You know, the only kind of change that comes into a society that's for the better is when people like you and I decide we want to help each other. Like on an individual basis. Not giving the government more power to take more of our money to go ahead and waste it. Because that's really what happens in the end. Okay, that's the gripe I have against the politics. Right? I don't think politics are going to help us one way or the other. But I do know that they can hurt us. Right? Politics can definitely hurt us. You know what I mean? But the only people that are going to help us is us. You know? There is no government that was given such power that helped out society in any great way, except for when the United States was formed. When the U.S. was formed and the Constitution was drafted, that was the best document in the history of the world that man could ever come up with. You know? But that document is only as good as the faith that people have in it. You know what I'm saying? Right? That's a document that says you have unequivocal rights. Rights that cannot be disputed. You know? But if people are convinced that for whatever crazy reason that it's bad for them, then the document then has no power. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ignore it, then you just ignore the rights that it says you have. So this is what I'm trying to address here, our mindset. You know, you can convince yourself to believe whatever you want to believe. Right? Humans have that capability. You know, a tiger is a tiger. Like a tiger is going to get up every day and they're going to lounge around like a cat does. They're going to have sex during the mating season when it's time for them to do that because they can't help it. And when they get hungry, they're going to go out and seek prey to feed themselves, and then they're going to go right back down and sit down and go to sleep like a cat does. You know what I'm saying? They are going to do what a cat does, and that's all they're going to do. They can't choose to wake up one morning and go join the elephants and go hang out with them and live like they do. Wash themselves in the water like the elephants do. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying that that can't happen. Obviously, it could happen, but the likelihood of that happening is not going to, the probability is just very low. I think we can all agree with that. But humans, on the other hand, we have the capability of deceiving ourselves. We have the capability of, like, saying something to ourselves over and over and over and over again, and then eventually we'll start to believe it. To the point where the actual truth in our mind becomes false. Humans are the only ones that can do that. Because why? God gave us a mind. That's why. He gave us something we can use to think with. Right? We can use it it's a tool that He's given us that has the capability of being creative. Right? We could use that creativity to do many things. But we can also create a lie in our own mind, if we so choose to do that. We can choose to believe a lie rather than what's actually true. And the Bible warned us a long time ago that that's what the world is going to do. And we're now living in that time. Where truth is false, is taught as false, and what was false before is taught as truth. What was good before is now taught to us as bad, and what was bad before now is taught to us as being okay. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about gays and homosexuals. I'm talking about crime. I mean, look at what they're letting happen in the cities. Right? These politicians in the cities, mostly Democrats, are just letting crime run rampant. Why? Oh, because the criminals are just a product of their environment. So we can't punish them. For something that they can't help. You know what I mean? And that's absurd, right? Because everybody wants to live in a safe environment. But in the name of social justice, crime is just able to run rampant now. And there's murders everywhere now. And but it's not the criminals' fault that they're committing murders, that they're committing crime. It's the product of their environment. Oh, no, or it's the gun. Oh, the gun made that person go and shoot somebody and kill them. It's the gun's fault. Right? There's no like accountability. Right? And I'm not saying that I'm not accountable for anything. Don't get me wrong. I'm not preaching as if I don't look at myself in the mirror every day. Okay? I'm accountable to the decisions that I make. Okay, I'm just speaking generally now. I'm not judging, so to speak. Okay, I'm just speaking the plain truth here. And that doesn't change. No matter what time period it is, no matter how much technology we have. You know what I'm saying? Technology doesn't somehow negate truth, which is what scientists have convinced us to think. That, we live in a technological society now, so therefore all the old stuff is irrelevant, Because, we know what's better. for humanity. You know, we have all the real answers now, you know, because of technology. As if back in, like, say, let's just take ancient Egypt for example. They had no technology. I mean, just think about that for a second. What is technology? Right? Technology is basically just innovation, right? Innovating of things, right? You create new things that you can use as tools. That's technology. You know, that might not be the definition, but I'm just saying in general, that's basically the definition. So back in the day, you had technology. You had better ways to build houses. You had better tools that you can make and forge. You had better armor and weapons that you could make. And you even had philosophy, right? There was philosophers that thought up new ways of doing things, new ways of looking at things, right? And I'm not saying that all philosophy is any good. I'm just saying, you know, and again, back in the time of Egypt, how did they build them pyramids? You know what I'm saying? That took technology, which, you know, everybody thinks that they know how they were built. You know, I don't think anybody really knows how they were built. I think that technology was lost when Egypt lost its place in the world as a great empire. You know, I think it was destroyed somehow. You know, I understand they have hieroglyphics and stuff that they look at and trying to put pieces together. And I'm not saying they can't do that. You know what I mean? But in essence, I don't think they really understand fully how they did that. Because, I mean, those blocks are huge. I mean, they're like gigantic, you know? And it took the technology to do that. You know? And, you know, are we going to think in our minds for 1 second that people didn't, like, look at the stars and the moon and the sun and ponder the greatness of the universe? I mean, as if when we got the telescope that was the first time that people were, like, in awe of the universe. When there's so much ancient literature that talks about the stars and the heavens, you know what I mean? And even nature. You know, as if nobody, like, examined nature until, scientists came along and studied nature. You know, the modern scientists. You know, this is what they try to, like, convince you. That, like, the Age of Enlightenment happened, you know, after the French Revolution or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, somehow we got smarter at that point as a human race, you know? In fact, I would say we got dumber as the modern technology that we have today. Wow, this is not good. I'm gonna have to be preemptive here. There's a lot of them coming. So don't be fooled into thinking that just because we can see galaxies and distant stars now with telescopes, and we have microscopes that can see, you know, have better images of our cells and atoms, that somehow that makes us smarter. That doesn't make us smarter. You know, now having just a plethora of knowledge in your mind does not make you smart. Because there could be a person that could sit here and memorize book after book after book and still have no understanding of what they memorize. They might know a little more than they knew before. I'm not going to say that they're not going to understand anything more, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be an expert in whatever it is they memorize. I mean, there's a lot of people that memorize the Bible, for example. But yet when you talk to them about the Bible, things like the Sabbath day and the state of the dead and hell, they'll be clueless about what you're talking about. And the reason for that is because in all their memorization of the Bible, that's all they did. And even though they memorized the Bible, they still base their beliefs, okay, and listen to this, on what somebody told them. Okay? Did you catch that? In all the memorization that people do, it means nothing if they're basing their beliefs on just what somebody told them. Because whatever you memorize becomes meaningless if all you did was just listen to what somebody told you. And you didn't examine for yourself the truth, the facts. You see? So this is what I'm trying to hit home today in this video. Stop listening to people and start looking for yourself. Looking for truth. Looking for what really is. Looking for the true reality. Right? Look beyond the surface and look beyond. Right? Outside the box. Look at spirituality for once. Don't go, I don't believe in none of that stuff. Christianity, religion has been the worst part of our human history. I love it when people say that. No, religion hasn't been the worst part of our human history. The fact that you would listen to what somebody else said, that's the worst part of human history. Because whether religious or political, yes, you can have bad governments, whether they're religious or political. But the reason why they're bad is because they ignored the facts. They ignored the truth. So if, say, Christianity, if you want to say that, I would say it's not really Christianity, but whatever, if you want to say that, the Christians who committed atrocities were doing that not based on what the Bible told them to do, but based on what somebody told them to do. The Catholic Church was persecuting people all throughout the Dark Ages, not because the Bible told them to do that. The Bible says love your neighbor as yourself. Okay? But because of what people told them to do. Okay? What the bishop said to do, what the Pope said to do. Right? Because they were just doing what they were doing based on their tradition. Not what the Bible told them to do. The reformers were trying to tell them, look, we have to look at what the Bible says, not what our tradition says. So the reformers, a lot of the reformers were Catholics. They weren't outsiders. They were Catholics who were just trying to make Catholicism better. They were trying to bring it back to true Christianity. And because of that, they were killed, or persecuted, or tortured, or thrown in jail, whatever. And the Catholic Church was doing that because they weren't listening to the truth. And that's the problem we have today. The same problem. We're following all this nonsense because we're not looking at the truth. We're not looking at reality. Oh, jeez, he's real aggressive. Oh, there was another one. I thought I heard a second one, but I wasn't totally sure. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with them. I was switching my weapons wrong. Crap. Do I have money? Yeah, I guess I do. Alright, we're gonna go with an X. We're gonna go with this thing, of course. So I don't waste any time getting back. Might as well buy some 50. Buy some 308. Get some potions. Good. Okay, great. Wow, where am I at? On the other side of the mountain? Oh my goodness, my god. Gotta be kidding me. Wow. This is really far away. What the heck? It all comes down to controlling the mind, right? If one can control your mind, they can control you. If they control how you think, they can control you. You know, like all the people that were cheering and shouting hooray when the martyrs were getting burned at the stake. They thought they were doing good. They thought they were doing the right thing. When all the reformers were trying to do was to make things right. And the funny thing is this: if the Catholic Church would have accepted the reformers' reforms, then they would have treated the people better. Right? They wouldn't have been like selling the indulgences, which would take people's hard-earned money, you know, which was taking people money from the poor who didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? It would have ended oppression. But the people were so stuck on the, well, number one, some were doing it out of fear, and but a lot were stuck on the tradition. They were so stuck on their tradition. There must be something up there. Well, that thing doesn't want to die, huh? And because they were stuck on this false way of thinking, they were actually fighting against their own best interest. that's the whole crazy thing. It's like today, people, all they're worried about is climate change. All they're worried about is the social justice. But all the while, when they're pointing the finger at you and me and saying they're the enemy, right? They're the racists. The real enemy and the real racists are just getting away with murder. You know what I mean? Just have free reins to do whatever they want. Oh gosh. And at the same time, nothing is getting done. Nothing is changing. In fact, what's coming is not equity and equality in the way that people are being sold. It's just going to be oppression. Because the government's going to have power to do whatever they want. And what does equity mean? We already talked about that. Right? Equity just means everybody's kind of on the same plane. And who wants that? You'll never have a chance to really prosper unless you do favors for government officials. Right? Or people who are or do favors for people who are part of the machine. And is that's really how you want society to function? That you want to move up the ladder not because of your ability, not because of your achievements, but because you did a favor. Or because you paid money. I mean, isn't that what we used to call corruption? Back in the day? Because that's how these socialist governments work. I hear something. There was a T-Rex nearby. I have to get my body first, though. So it's all just the same thing, just repeating itself in a different way. Okay, instead of going through like a religious institution, the deception is going through now a scientific and political avenue. Right? They're using science to deceive people, and they're using the politics to deceive people. But let me be clear, it's still a religious movement. Okay, this still all comes back to the papacy wanting to gain power in the world again. And they're doing it through politics. Instead of being like, a straightforward religious face. They're now using a political face. Right? A social justice face. And I'm not saying that in some respects the social justice movement doesn't sound good. I'm not saying it at all. My point is it's going to sound attractive. It's going to sound good. Right? Up until you see the effects of it. Wow. This is not good. He's coming up on me. But all that doesn't really matter. All the politics, all the religion, all the science. Because in the end, the only thing that matters is going to be the choice that you make, for or against God. Right? It's going to come back to the same thing that people had to make the choice in the Dark Ages, that people had to make the choice when Jesus came. People had to make the choice back in old Israel. The people had to make the choice when they left Egypt. And the choice that Adam and Eve had to make. Okay, we all have to make the same choice. Either for or against. You know, but right now we're living in the end time of history. Okay? There isn't going to be an endless future. Right? God is not going to allow, you know, all this sin and wickedness go on and on and on. And I have to come to terms with that too. Because, you know, I have my sins that I hold on to. But all that has to go. If you don't want to miss the boat. Because all the politics and religion is just a distraction. It's just for you to take your mind off of what you should be looking at. Which is where this world is heading. You know, it's not heading for climate change doomsday, although the 7 last plagues mentioned in Revelation, there's going to be some climate change. It's very clear about the large hail and the sun is going to scorch the earth with heat. But by then it's going to be too late for you to make a decision. Okay, because when the 7 last plagues drop, then everyone would have made their decision. And there won't be any more time. Yeah, I'm going to have to run now. Boy, the stamina is just so crazy. I don't know if I can get away. I'm not dying today again. Wow, these dinosaurs are aggressive today, man. I think I'll be okay over here, I hope. Down. Come on down. You're the next contestant for a bullet to the heart. Come on. I gotta go up here, I guess. She's gotta be bleeding like crazy. That much I know. Come on. back, so I can't really see too well. It's a little blurry. Alright, how many bullets is it gonna take? My god. My mouse is finally... Whoa! Mouse is gonna die. Still ain't dead yet? She's got her head down, look at her. Look, I never seen her like do that. I never seen him do that position and growl. Die. Whoa. She's a tough one. Hey there, Rose. I guess if it's very important. Not sure how you're gonna call me. I don't have the phone. Let me get down here. Okay, well, how long have I been on here now? I don't think it's been too long. 1 hour and 9 minutes. Okay, give me 5 minutes, everybody. Sorry. Be right back. Be back in a bit. Alright, I'm back. Sorry for that delay. Anyway, well, I don't know, Rose, if you're still there. The phone is dead, so I don't know how you want me to call you. That's why we need a new phone. The kids always borrow the phone and then they don't plug it in when they're done with it. And since they, they play the games on there and stuff, so it runs the battery out. Plus the phone is old now, so the battery's not really that great. So I still have to go get my body. Where is it? Way over here. So let's get some more dinosaur hunting here. On this beautiful Primal Eden day. I don't know if can you hear me? I don't hear anything. Testing, testing. Usually if I shoot the gun, then I'll hear it. Okay. I don't know if you hear me, though. That's the thing. Let me check it. Testing, testing. It is showing me talking, so I guess it's alright. Okay. I'll assume everything's good. Something tells me I'm gonna get bum rushed by Utah or something. I don't think I announced oh yeah, I did already. They got off already, I guess. There we go. Mangled up body. sniper scope. There it is. Okay, hopefully now everything will be good. Alright, we gotta get rid of some of this stuff here. I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that. I don't want that. Okay. Good to go. Come on. There we go. Yay, I'm back. Got my stuff. Make a little noise. Attract some attention. See if I can get a couple T-Rex before getting off here. Okay, we got some Utah. There's one. Right there. Two. I think I might have heard something else. Might have heard a T-Rex. I guess it's getting dark again. No, stay up, son. I like that they changed the color. That's kind of cool. Well, I think it's a different color now than when it's up high. Kind of puts a nice hue on everything, you know. Yep, I thought I heard a Rex, and there it is. Of course. That got his attention. You better believe it. Yep, here it comes. It's gonna see me soon. And there you go. getting it high enough. Gotta be hurt. That was probably long. Nobody's in here except us chickens. That's a nice spot right there. Ah. Never just stop. I need you to turn. It would have been really cool if they went and like attacked Utah. You know what I mean? Like normally, like, well, normally that's not really the right word. If this was really a dinosaur and that was really a Utah, then the dinosaur would be going after the Utah. They wouldn't be bothering with me. You know, because I'm in the box, right? So the Utah is out in the open. Making noise. Baby. I'm not dinner. It is really rusty. Side shot. Finally, a wine. At least I know it's close to death. No, it died. Nice. Alrighty then. That took long enough. Next. I guess those Utah are going to come down now. Let me see what goodies are in this chest over here. Pants. Guess that's something. And arrows, please. Another one? Or was that only one? I don't hear my voice for some reason. I don't know. Can you guys hear my voice? It just doesn't seem like it's... I can hear the gunshot, but I don't hear the voice. Did something change? Testing, testing. Oh, it is showing that it's working. Testing, 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 testing. Testing. Anyway, whatever. I guess you guys can let me know. Okay. Okay, so I'm a sitting duck out here. Let me see if the phone is charged up at all. I don't think it's working. I don't think it's charging. The server is probably going to crash soon because it keeps minimizing, and then when it does that, I don't know why it does that. But eventually it's going to crash. Now let's do some exploring. I'm sure we're going to come across another Utah, huh? Sorry about the sniffles, man. My nose is just very stopped up. My guess is it's gonna sneak up on me. So quiet out here. Oops, wrong gun. Up there it is right here, Utah now. It's coming up here. Still don't hear my voice though. Don't understand it. Desktop audio. It's saying in OBS that my voice is going through, but I don't hear it on the stream. Not sure what's going on there. I think I'm talking loud enough. Oh, now I heard my voice. There we go. So I guess it's just, I don't know, I was talking softly or something? Who knows? I don't know. Oh! Oh, a T-Rex. Where is it? See if I can get a shot at it. There it is. Come on, stand still. Let's see it. Doesn't know where I am yet. think it's a her. Yep. Gonna make me go all the way over there, huh? Well, I hope everybody's doing okay in life. I know life can be a little bit of a challenge now with, you know, how things are in the world. Everything's high price, gas is high price, you know. Things aren't as safe as they used to be. Just hang in there. Try to stay positive. And like I said, prepare for the end. Be ready. And everything's gonna be alright. These are challenging times, man. What's the old saying? Times that try men's souls. That's certainly the times we're in now. That's for sure. Ooh, these dinosaurs. Man, my nose is so stuffy. The weather's kind of like we're in like a heat wave right now, so I guess the air is muggy. So that's making it a little harder on my sinuses, I guess. We have a Utah here. Apparently one that I was tracking before. Going to sneak up on me, huh? Where are you? I'm ready. I'm ready. We got here, we have Up the bird. Forgot about the birds. The bird saw me. Haven't really had much bird encounter today. None at all, actually. Obviously. But here it comes. Looks like it's making its that's a big one. Can't read that number. My contacts here. Does that say 958 or 953? Wow, that's a big. I think that might be the heavyweight. If I take a screenshot, it's going to crash the game. It sucks. Yeah, I believe that's a heavyweight. Although it didn't give me a chest, so Although I don't know if the heavyweight gives a chest. I think the rare, the battle torn one or whatever they're called, probably give the chest. Yeah, but I believe that was definitely a heavyweight. 958. Or is it 975? Not sure. I'd have to look at my achievements to find out, like, what's what. Yeah, and if you're still listening, don't get me wrong and misunderstand me. When I talk about science and stuff, I'm not a science denier. Okay? Like science, true science is steeped in empirical science. Okay? Not theoretical science. And I'm not saying that, no, I'm not saying theories are bad, you know, but, because, you know, you have to have a theory in order to start your study. But the problem is that, like in the case of evolution and our origins, or the universe's origins, this theory of evolution has been lingering and lingering and lingering and lingering and lingering and lingering. We're no closer to having any proof or evidence that it actually exists, despite what you might be told. Okay, taxonomy or whatever they say that they use now to show something is that doesn't prove anything. Simply saying that, like, you know, the fake legs on the pseudo legs on a snake mean that they came from something before that had legs, right? That's you just saying that, right? There's like no video showing that, say, a walking lizard turned into a snake. I'm not saying that's what they're saying happened, but I'm just using that as an example. Okay, that's still somebody in their mind saying that, well, the snake has pseudo legs, and it's related to this creature that has legs, so therefore it must evolve. It must have evolved into a snake, or the snake evolved into this. Like that's not proof. That's just you saying that's what you think happened. Okay? Right? So that's kind of the science that is not really true science. That's just somebody saying that that's what they think, which that's not science. Okay? Science involves thinking. It involves putting out theories, but it a true like having a theory just linger and linger and linger for decades and hundreds of years and saying that, and then every generation they keep saying, well, we'll find the answers in the future. We'll find the answers in the future. Oh, in the future we'll get all the answers we'll need. This is like what they're just do on and on and on and on. And it really just comes down to, if I say the universe started out in a big bang, which came from nothing, okay, which in itself is absurd. That's unscientific. Is not really any different than me saying God created the universe. Like a living being did it. You know what I mean? Or whatever you want to say. A God, right? Which is just a living being. Okay? We say God because, we believe he's all powerful, all knowing, everywhere, at the same time. We may not understand all that, but that doesn't matter. So somebody's saying, well, the universe created with a big bang out of nothing, and we really had no purpose, is exactly the same kind of evidence that would be me saying, well, I believe that God did it, and that I do have a purpose. Right? They're kind of on the same plane, except the God argument has extra proof, whereas the Big Bang does not. Like there is no Big Bang book, right, that we found floating out there in space, because that happened to also form by chance, right? Because why not? The billions and billions of galaxies and all the matter, right? That just by chance. They just said, oh, just by some chance, it popped. Boink, here it is. Well, then why wouldn't the universe manual also pop? Right? Because the universe came into existence out of, crazy odds. Right? The odds of the universe just popping into existence out of nothing. I mean, that's an astronomical number. Because the odds of that just happening is like near zero. Right? If you want to look at probability, but see, the God argument, they have a book. And it's a book that's stood the test of time. And if you read it, it's logical. And it makes sense. And it has a historical record that can actually be traced and proven. You know what I mean? By actual science. Empirical science. Right? I mean, I still hear people saying that, that what the Bible says is just nothing that the Bible says actually happened. Well, that's an old argument that's now in the trash can. Because there's been plenty of archaeological evidence and finds that show that the Bible has been accurate. You know what I mean? So it's weird. It's like, it always makes me kind of crazy in my mind that people still use that argument. They're trying to debunk the Bible. The historical records in the Bible. And it's just silly. Because that's what's been debunked. The debunking has been debunked. skepticism. So anyway, so I'm not against science, as I said, but I'm against this like perpetuation of theories that they have no proof for, but yet they still say is fact. Because when you say in a program on TV, if you say in the classroom, if you say in college that this is how the universe began, you're teaching it as fact. Or if this is how stars form, you teach that as fact. Or if this is how planets were made, how our solar system was created, you're teaching it as fact. When you say this is how it was, right? Because they're not teaching this is how we think it happened, or this is how it could have happened. But in fact, they can't even teach this is how it could have happened, because the scientific evidence is against how they say planets form, how they say our solar system formed. Okay, because it doesn't match with the laws of physics. Do you think? Like, did you think, like, do you, it's like most people don't understand that. Because all they hear is that the teachers say this is how it was. I think I hear another Rex. He's going to come down quick. The same thing with biological evolution. They just say we evolved from apes, but there's no real evidence that that happened. I mean, just because, you know, apes have arms and legs and we do, that doesn't mean we evolved. Or just because their DNA might have similarities to ours doesn't mean that we evolved. That doesn't mean, I mean, we have similarities with a lot of other creatures. Did we evolve from all of them? I mean, because who's to say that just because I have a lot of DNA that's similar to a chimp or whatever, why is that guaranteed that that's who I evolved from? I mean, I could have evolved from some other creature if evolution happened. It's just that we don't know, we don't have all the steps in between. So really, any argument can work. When you don't have like the mechanism to go from A to B and then B to C and C to D. You see what I'm saying? So it's just kind of weird how they're so sure when they don't have the evidence to be even as sure as they are now. You know? So it's just, I don't know. I understand why people have a hard time listening to me say stuff like that, but I grew up too in a public school, and all that was drilled into my head. But when you actually sit down and think about this stuff that you're being taught, a lot of it just does not match up. It doesn't make any sense. Like, literally doesn't make any sense. You don't have to be a scientist to make sense of things. You don't have to be like have a doctorate's degree to make sense of things. That's what again, another thing you're being told. That you're dumb if you're not an expert. You don't understand anything if you're not the expert. And that's just not true. I guess I did hurt it. I didn't want to go on that rock, but the Utah were here, so. I thought there was 3. Did I miss one? I just heard something. Huh. Here it comes. There it is. Huh. Boy, oh boy. You play this game so long, you just hear all the little noises, you know? I hate to shoot it from a distance. I have to get it to go down here. Come on. I know you see me. Come on, tasty morsel. Here it comes. What nice teeth you have. Walk far away. You don't really put up a good fight, do you? Oh, he's up top. Yikes. Got me. Crap. No, that's not what I wanted to happen there. That was supposed to be the last one. Alright. Anyway, I think that's all I'm going to buy. Now, how far did they put me now? Oh my, probably a million miles away. No, not too far. Let me see, where did I put my... Oh, wait a second. I am far away. Crap. Way over there. here too. This one has to be a new one. I'm totally disoriented though. Oh, he sees me. Okay. It's hurt. Oh, I know where I am now. Jeez. There's another Rex there. Or is that a trike? No, it's a trike. Now I gotta chase this T-Rex, huh? Small male, huh? Alright, so let's see here. I don't have my weapons. Crap. So now I'm gonna be out in the open here. Got it. Phew. Now I gotta worry about the other one coming. I heard a second one, so I don't think that was the one that killed me. Yeah, I hear the one that killed me now. Where is this thing? way to the, Yeesh, that's pretty close. Oh, great. The only thing I have is the slope. Wow. My goodness. Not good. Not good at all. Not good at all. Die now. If I didn't get the spine that last time, I definitely got the guts. I got the guts. Yep, 2 spine shots. Okay. There was still another one. Still another one. Not picking my nose, I'm just itching it. It's just itching. Okay, we got 2 Utah here. Don't know where that bird went. I wonder if it died. Getting away. You are not getting away. Nobody is getting away. Now let me get my body first before I forget. It may crash when I get my stuff back this time. It's in the rock. I don't know if I can get it. Okay. Come on. Nice. Oh, morning time again. Yay. Can't really say I survived the night though, can I? Because I got killed. Okay, we got another Rex. Huh. I mean, I knew there was another Rex, but I didn't realize it was over here. Did I harvest that T-Rex over there? Yeah, I did, didn't I? Oh, goodness. Can't even do anything without people bothering me. Come on. You wait all that time. Wait until I go in the inventory. It says 2 T-Rex, so I think I did it. I'll track this last Rex. Another small one. Come on, give me some footprints. Can't really tell me where it's going. I know I heard one like over that way. And now this is the other way. Oh, great. Let's trike. I know if I go back up here, I'm gonna find another one, but this one must have checked off this way, I guess. Really? Huh. Somebody else must have hit this, because I don't remember hitting a Rex. Did I shoot that Rex? I guess I did. So maybe that wasn't the one that killed, that wasn't the different one back there. This is the one that killed me. Interesting. I guess I did shoot it at least once. Well, I'm gonna shoot it again. Seems like he's going in a circle here. There we go. He's going up to the volcano. I'm gonna find you. don't usually walk away though, fleeing. Maybe if, oh, it might have ran away because of that other Rex that came nearby. That's the only thing I can think of. So I guess it went up here. Let's see if it went up here. Nope. So it ran, oh, here we go. Yep, I have to find this one. Can't let my killer get away with it. Been a pretty active day. More Utah. This thing is really walking. That's probably why I heard it over here. It walked all the way over here. That's pretty interesting. Why did it stop twice? Here comes the bird. I hate the sight. It always like zooms in too much. Sure that got his attention. Here it comes. This could be a new one. Okay, the Utah is going to come now. Butchered that guy up. I'm just very obsessive. I was gonna make that my last one, but now I'm like thinking, let me just find one more. Yep. I hear one. A volcano. Let me get in a better spot here. Let me make some noise. The Utahraptor's still tracking me. I don't know where that T-Rex went. He's probably gonna come now that I'm out here. Okay, he's over there. I don't got much protection over here. I not lying down? No, I'm not. Crap. Thought I was. I hate that you can't go downward. That was a good hit. Wobble. Wish they had like a stand you could put this on. Ah, that was a good shot too. That would have been the kill shot. Sideways is not the best. Still doesn't know where I am. I'll figure it out eventually. Get a little bit closer. Can't seem to get down. It's too high. Busy. Oh, don't do that. Ah, server crashed. Crap. Oh well, I guess that's it then. Server crashed. Anyway. Thanks for watching, guys, and listening. Don't forget to like and share and sub and all that good stuff. And have a great week. You know, it's summertime, so I haven't been able to stream as much. You know, because it's summertime. You want to get out and do things, right? So, I'll try to, you know, stream when I can. All right, love you all. Take care. Bye.